Yo, what's going on, guys? In today's video, we are going to be doing a Fruit Battlegrounds 1v1 tier list. Now, typically when I do these tier lists, I usually refer to just 1v1s, like what fruit is better than what fruit, specifically for 1v1s. So that's what we're doing in today's video. I know you guys have seen a few tier lists going around, not knowing which are the best because people don't order them properly. Sorry, something was in my throat there. But as I was saying, yeah, pretty much just going to be as simple as that. I've done most of the matchups in the game at this point. I pretty much know what is best for what. If you guys agree or disagree, let me know in the comments. Let me know what you would change. And if you enjoy this type of content, make sure to like and subscribe. Before we get into this video, I do want to say that I am hosting a tournament in about a week or so. I am currently not in town, so whenever I get back, I will be hosting a tournament that will range from anywhere from like $100 to $500. If you guys do want to enter, feel free to join my Discord. The link is in the description. You must be in the Discord to participate. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into our first fruit. Being Barrier. Now, look, Barrier, even though it's common, like you can't let common, the rarity, like make you think that it's a bad fruit, because it really isn't. Like, Barrier being in C tier is valid because it's really spammy. Doesn't have like a super consistent combo, but it's really spammy. Chop, yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe when they add Shanks or like Mihawk into the game and Chop is like immune, then that would be cool. But right now, yeah, Chop is like low-key horrible. Sand is probably just as good as Barrier, if not better, just because Spada comes out super quick, and I mean it's blockable, but the final tick bypasses. I mean, it's just it has 4 moves. The combo's not long. Doesn't do a ton of damage. So, yeah, it's really not that good. Smoke is terrible. Rubber's probably just as terrible. I mean, I don't really use this low tier. I'm familiar with all of these. I'm just not that familiar with Rubber. It's just, yeah, it's okay, I guess. I mean, Falcon has an infinite combo. So we're going to put it on top of C because it has an infinite combo. But what are your chances of landing that infinite combo? Not really high. Gas, I really love this fruit. I'm probably going to put it below Sand just because it doesn't have combo starting viability and just it's not as spammy as Barrier and Sand, but it still does a good amount of damage if you can get your hands on the opponent. Bomb, do I dare put it in B? Nah, I don't. It's decent though. It's pretty spammy. It has a good combo. That I don't know if that move has hyper armor anymore. I know that holding it used to give you hyper armor and iframes, so not anymore. That's why it's going to be moved down. If you've seen it higher on any tier list, it's because it had hyper armor, so that was a little busted. But yeah, moving on to Ice now though. Yeah, Ice is okay. I mean, the moves don't really work properly. I'm gonna put it like right above Sand, but yeah, I mean for rare it's pretty good. Moving on to Dark though. Dark is probably about, yeah, I mean it's not like phenomenal. Yeah, it really isn't like that great. I mean, the main combo starter is blockable. I mean, if you're in ranked and you just use it and somebody doesn't know that you're on Dark and you get a free combo for that, I guess that's pretty cool. That's good. But yeah, no, it's not that good. Ash is terrible. Like, when I say terrible, the fruit's whole combo does 400 damage. Whole combo. With the ult, the turret, every skill is the one skill looped twice. 400 damage. This fruit needed buffs desperately in the last balance change. I don't know why it didn't receive it. But, yeah, it looks like we're stuck with Ash and D because the combo just does way too little damage. It's pretty frustrating. Moving on to Light, though. Light's pretty good. It's just spammy. The combo's not necessarily like bread and butter. What's that one move? That one, I think it's Blinding Light. Yeah, Blinding Light combo. It's like, I don't know, it's kind of buggy sometimes. It doesn't connect like when you connect. The move honestly needs hyper armor, to be honest. But yeah, the ult is really easy to get out of. Guzan's a cool move, I guess, but yeah, it's just pretty primitive. It's a really old fruit, so it can't really compete. Flame is not good. Yeah, we're just gonna do this real quick. Yeah, Flame does very low damage, very hard time combo starting. The iframe is pretty cool, I guess, but other than that, everything else on it isn't that like great. The ult is terrible. I think you can do a combo into it, but good luck ever landing a single combo on this fruit. Now we have Magma V1. This fruit, not gonna lie, this fruit is very good. Do I dare put it above the spammy light though? I don't know if I do. No, I probably don't, but you can fly and block. You can use the Hound Blaze, I think the move is called. I'm guessing. That's what I think the alt, like the flight. On Magma, you can literally block while using it. So if you're fighting Doe, you can't Lotus it. You can't use any unblockable move on it. Yeah, I mean, the fruit does a ton of damage, but it's the same problem with all these fruits below. Very hard time landing a combo. Light doesn't really have a super hard time landing a combo. It's just that the combo isn't super consistent. The moves aren't very well, or the moves aren't very good. But yeah, moving on to our first A tier fruit of the video, we have Paw. Now, if I were to put it in either of these tiers, that would probably be a really bad placement. I feel like A is probably perfect for it. Paw is really good. In the right hands, it's really good. Sonic Stomp, that move, like, it's like basically think of it as a better version of a Coochie's 3 skill, right? Devastating Drop has end lag, and if you don't hit it, like, or maybe it's not end lag, but if you miss your 3 skill here, you're cooked. If you miss your 3 skill or your 2 skill here, you're not cooked, but it's like it's a lot better when you can Geppo up to the sky. You can like hold it and bait it. I saw an idea for a Coochie like that. I feel like it does need some type of rework within that department. They said on the patch notes that a Coochie get a buff. Yeah, that was just a blatant lie, but we're not here to talk about a Coochie right now. We are talking about Paw. If you use the Paw Barrage, keep him still, and then Sonic Stomp, that's really unfair. The 1 skill is blockable, and it does push back. That's really nice. Tortured has a lot of stun. The ult you can true combo into, does a good amount of damage. The fruit overall, I feel like it's perfect in this category of A tier. Moving on to String though, do I dare put it in A along with Paw? I might put it in like bottom A. But there's some really good epics. Like String is pretty good when it comes to epics. The only problem is the clone can be buggy sometimes. This fruit heavily relies on the clone, the String clone. And if you don't have it up while you get your Overheat Whip, you basically don't get a full combo, or you can get full comboed. For example, there are interactions like after Overheat Whip, when you Hurricane Shock, it puts you back on top of them, and then Ope gets a full combo. The only thing preventing that would be the String clone, so if your String clone isn't alive while you're doing that, then you basically don't get a true combo, and you get full comboed on top of it. But that's only in some cases for some fruits. I'm sure you can do that as well with Doe. I'm sure you can do that with a lot of fruits, but even if they have an iframe, they just get out of it and then combo you. So yeah, I digress. Moving on to Love though, I feel like Love is probably the best epic. Yeah, Love is definitely the best epic. Heartstrings, even though it is cancelable, is a pretty reliable combo starter. Blossom Wind is a really good move. The Bouquet does 105 damage. That's a really good move. And not to mention, it has a heal skill. The only fruit in the game with a heal skill. This thing also heals you for like 700 health. Yeah, I don't know who let this, like, why does Love have a heal skill before Phoenix? Like, can somebody enlighten me, please? Anyway, yeah, this fruit is really good. If you fight it, you know it's really annoying, really spammy. But the main thing that this fruit is used for is stun trades. It stun trades really well, especially the 1 skill, 2 skill, literally you name it. Blossom Wind, this thing can trade anything. Like, this thing goes extreme diff with Venom just because it trades the moves. It's really like tough. I mean, probably even beats Venom just because of the heal move. It's just frustrating to say the least. Yeah, you guys know that Love is a really good epic. Anyways, moving on to Snow. So Snow is also an epic. It's just buggy. Like, Snow is very buggy. I'd have to say, yeah, I probably put it in A tier, right? This is a really difficult one for me because I know, like, when it comes to being a really unique fruit, Snow is very unique. Like, the ability to put up a Snow Dome, just have complete hyper armor and take 50% less damage, bugs a lot of moves, and it will probably potentially bug the Snow user. I feel like they did a really poor job of coding this in regards to the Snow Dome because so many interactions in the game just completely make this fruit useless to play against. Like, I know that there's literally almost nothing you can do when you're fighting a fruit with like some weird iframe interaction and you just get perm bugged. So for that reason, I guess I'll leave it in A just for the bug. I don't know. To be honest, this is up to you guys. This placement is very interchangeable. Feel free to put it wherever you guys want. It's kind of difficult to combo start, not gonna lie, but once you get your combo, it definitely does a good amount of damage. I don't know if I'm gonna put it on top B or bottom A. I guess I'll just leave it here for all those interactions. Moving on to Quake though. Quake is a really good fruit. In 1v1 specifically, I'm almost tempted to put it in an S. The only problem is that its main combo starter relies on your opponent not having iframes or movement skills. So for example, if Quake is fighting Soul, you Zeus Meadows, you're out of it. Fighting DV1, Tatsumaki. Fighting Magma V2, trade it with Mygo. Fighting Venom, Poison Storm. Like it's pretty simple. The fruit has a lot of bad matchups, but for the few good matchups that it does have, it feels really one-sided. Like fruits like Doe, especially, can struggle against Quake. Fruits like Leopard can struggle against Quake. Even Ope can struggle against Quake. It's just like these fruits that don't have mode timers typically have a lot of advantage above the ones that don't, except for the ones with like OP modes like Leopard V2 or maybe like Phoenix or Garp or something like that. Would be a difficult matchup for Quake. But yeah, I mean, Quake is a really good fruit. Does a ton of damage in this combo. And yeah, so for that reason, we're going to leave it at probably the top of A. Moving on to Gravity, though. Gravity, I feel like, deserves above Quake. Gravity's a pretty good fruit. Really, really spammy. If you're trying to spam and really have no brain, you just want to turn your brain off and just use a fruit, you get a free launch, go into Great Meteor, run over, do your iframe. Does way too much damage. This fruit with a single combo, I believe, does around 800 damage, maybe a little bit more than that. Push, when held, does a lot of range. Launch, even though blockable, some people just don't expect it, or especially if you try to do rocks into it. Majority of the player base just doesn't know how to fight this fruit at all. Does a ton of damage and can be really annoying in the right hands. But yeah, with all that being said, does have basically two ults, has an iframe that acts like an alt. Iframes on command are often more than not always useful, regardless if they're used offensively or defensively. The ult does a ton of damage when charged up, which you typically get right after launch. So yeah, just a good fruit. We're gonna leave it right there. Okay, now Phoenix. I don't know. Do I dare put it in S? I feel like Phoenix takes a decent spot in S here. Yeah, Phoenix is definitely a really, really good fruit. I know it just did get a recent change to the nerf on its timer, but that really doesn't mean a whole lot when you get your mode back in like 2 seconds. The combo is really simple. It can be traded by a lot of stuff, but if you're good with this fruit, you definitely know how to make it work. The frame 1 Phoenix Inferno is pretty nice. Not a whole lot of people are gonna get caught by that, I'm not gonna lie. Or I should say good players, but yeah, Phoenix is just really oppressive. The double jump height is really good, and the one thing about it that's really good as well is stalling out other modes. Like, you'd be surprised how well Phoenix does against Soul, solely for the fact of the double jump height. Like, I know that's why fruits like Doe have such a problem with like fruits like Phoenix, fruits like Gear 5, because the jump height, it's so reliant on grilled Doe that moves just like that are never gonna hit. And especially fruits like Light V2, which are kind of reliant for you to not be in the air. Phoenix can kind of just like, you know, fly, block Heavenly Descent, use like any move they want. I don't know if it completely trades it, but yeah, I digress. It's just a good fruit. It's really oppressive. Does a good amount of damage as well. So when we talk about fruits that have a low skill ceiling for a high reward payout, Phoenix is definitely one of those fruits. Moving on to DV1 though, I don't know where this goes, to be honest. DV1 is not in a good spot right now. I'm gonna be so honest with you guys. Yeah, this I don't know, just like, yeah, I feel like that's probably a perfect spot for it. DV1, I mean, Tatsumaki, yeah, catches a lot of people off guard, but if you just know how to block and then use a move when the skill is over with, like if you're on Leopard, you block the final whip of the tail, or you block until the final whip of the tail, and then you use a move like Rising Claw, you just get a full combo. Use Buzz Cut, you get a full combo. Use Hurricane Shock. I don't know if that's completely true, but use Bajrang. Like, you see my point. Bolo Frenzy, torched up. A lot of moves counter that, and that's how the fruit starts. Also, not to mention, Draco Meteor's bugged right now. So if you're like even a single jump off the ground, then that's not hitting you. The fruit does a ton of damage. The base combo still decent, I guess, but it's like Dragon Claw, like that's being traded by everything. Very reactable. It's almost like the skill has like a ton of windup, or it's like laggy or something. It's just so primitive. If you're using DV1 in the big 2025, like, spin it off, bro. Like, just upgrade it to DV2, honestly. Yeah, moving on though. TSR. Now, TSR did just catch some crazy buffs. I wouldn't say it's like super good. I know this like TSR. I know that. Okay, here's the thing. The one skill can be really troubling for some people. If you don't know how to Sora control properly, it can be really troubling, especially if they cancel the one skill. It's also tradable for a lot of things. You know, I typically don't have a whole lot of trouble fighting this fruit, especially when I just like hold my Sora or trade it with like, you know, you guys know I use Venom. I'll just Poison Storm or I'll Venom Road or literally whatever, or I'll fly up and grab him. Like whatever I got to do. Yeah, this fruit really doesn't beat a single Mythic, I think. This fruit doesn't beat a single Mythic. I know it can fight Garp pretty well, which is surprising considering how OP it is. But yeah, even fruits like Pod just have a better job pinning someone down than TSR does. The combo starting is your one skill. In mode, I know the mode got buffed. It does a lot more damage. It's a little bit better, but you know, the TSR mode will forever be TSR mode. Like realistically, no one is getting hit from the one skill in the mode unless you just like, you get faked out or something, or you get pinned down against a wall when they Gatling you. But yeah, TSR, to be honest, not looking too good. They gotta add like Ryo or something for it, because it's probably like the worst legendary. Moving on though, Magnet caught a nerf, but it's still really spammy. Do I dare put it in S? I might yeah, I might let it be bottom S. We might move it at the end of the video. I'm not sure yet, but in case you guys didn't know, Magnet has a really high damage combo for no reason. Same thing with Phoenix, low skill ceiling for high reward payout. Do your one skill, Cyclone, Punk Prison, Punk Cannon, and pretty sure that does around like 600, 650 maybe? I'm not sure. Does a lot of damage. And by the time that's over with, you have all your cooldowns back, besides like the ult. Not to mention, we're not even going to talk about that horrendous one skill hitbox. That thing is so OP with Repel on, or with the arms on. Like, I don't even want to talk about it. I know it's full blockable, but you block it, you're Punk Prisoned, and then you're Punk Cannon. Like, if passive were a fruit, this and Goro probably take the cake. I don't think I've ever seen anyone play more passive. Actually, what am I lying for? Like, what am I lying for? Anyways, you can play really passive with Magnet, and yeah, I mean, it's just a good fruit. Magnet's a really good fruit. It's still really spammy despite the cooldown nerfs, and yeah. Moving on to Ice V2 though. I might plop this in S+. I might. I'm really close to thinking. I'm really thinking about it, but I think we're gonna leave it in. I don't know. Yeah, we might move it down later. Ice V2 is really good though. Frame 1 3 skill combo starter. Really dependent on fling though. That's the only problem. The one skill has crazy horizontal range. Blizzard Blade doesn't do a whole lot of damage. It's okay, I guess. You can combo extend into the ult with Blizzard Blade though, and the 3 skill. I think the 1 skill has too much windup. But if you loop the combo correctly, you can do like 900, 950 damage. It's really dumb. But yeah, basically I'll break down the combo for you guys right here. 1 skill, if you just have to time them out perfectly. But here's the combo: 1 skill, 2 skill, 3 skill, 1 skill, ult. Then you go back into the 1 skill, Blizzard Blade, 3 skill, and then you can Ice Skate if you want, and then start with your 3 skill again. It's like, it's so dumb. And it's been like, since release, they still haven't nerfed the console Ice Skate. To be honest, I don't know why this isn't fixed yet, but anyone that fights like a passive or good Ice V2 really knows the frustration of this fruit. It's a really good fruit, really good for zoning. The combos last forever. Like if you're on something like Leopard V2 and you're moded up and they catch you in a combo, you just lose your whole mode, and then you're in base and you're vulnerable. Same thing with Impact. They catch you in a combo, you're vulnerable. Literally any mode fruit in the game besides Soul, because its mode is infinite. It's just really frustrating to fight. Moving on to Magma V2 though. See, because the combo starter is so bad, I don't know if I'd put it in S tier. We'll probably leave it in like bottom of S tier. Yeah, I mean, look. The thing about Magma V2, the whole combo does like 950 damage. But let's be so honest, no good player is like, actually, who am I kidding? Yeah, this fruit definitely deserves S tier. It does way too much damage. I'm just going to put it like that. The fact that you can loop your 1 skill twice and 2 skill twice is kind of like gut-wrenching to me. They were supposed to nerf this, but didn't. Shout out Balance Team, shout out Zach. Yeah, the fruit just does a ton of damage, but if you know how to like Soru control properly and just block, literally all you have to do against the one skill, block Soru, just wait for the pull, block Soru. It's basically that easy. The 2 skill can catch you off guard sometimes if they use the 2 skill and then right immediately super close to you. If they throw it directly at the ground and it explodes quicker, then yeah, that's reasonable for why you got caught. But other than that, if you just keep your distance from the fruit, it's really not a big deal. But yeah, I feel like Magnet being spammier is with a higher damage payout is probably better because you have to be a little bit better at the game to use this fruit to the best of its ability. Yeah, I feel like this spot is probably perfect for Magma. Moving on to Light V2 though. Let's see here. Yeah, we're gonna put it right here. I feel like this is a perfect spot for it. The only problem with this fruit is it's super air campy. You guys know how I feel about that. If there were a fruit to play passive, if I could just say one word about this fruit, it would be passive. Because just like its counterpart Light V1, you're almost in the air like most of the match, except for when you're getting your combo. Get your combo, fly away, and be unpunished. It's like honestly pretty tragic, but the combo does a lot of damage. If you have good aim, you can make this fruit compete with even some mythics. If you're not watching your Soru control, Photon Storm will catch you all the time, and they'll just solar grenade you. There's really not a whole lot to say about this fruit. Just does a good amount of damage, does everything really decent, and the one thing it does do really well is air camp. So you know, anyone that has a problem with that definitely has a problem fighting this fruit. Moving on to Flame V2 though. Yeah, this fruit's kind of chopped, I'm not gonna lie. I'll probably put it like right here is probably fine. Yeah. Flame V2 has just been really rough since release. You know, they kind of gutted it and now it's just terrible. Like the one skill. Okay, now moving on to Venom. Here's the thing. Okay, Venom beats Ice V2, but we're not going off of what beats what. We're beating off what beats mythics, right? Venom beats like pretty much every legendary. I couldn't think of the ones that it loses to besides like Doe sometimes, and when I say sometimes I mean like honestly I feel like Doe definitely beats Venom, but controversial opinion apparently. Yeah, Venom doesn't really lose to like any legendaries. It beats a few mythics. It's like, it's honestly probably the, it's between Ice V2 and Venom, which are the best legendary fruits. And Doe, of course. But yeah, I digress. The combo does really low damage, although the upside of giving them less regeneration with your poison ticks. I'm always going to say this. I feel like whoever's decision it was to move this fruit down from a mythic to a legendary, that was the worst thing you could have done ever. Like, fruits like Akuchi, which are just like not great right now, literally worse than Venom's ever been, are still mythics, and now apparently they don't want to revert the change because it makes people unhappy. Just buff the worst fruits. It just doesn't make sense. Just buff the worst fruits in the mythic category. Like, you just straight up demote it and give up on it like that. It's just disgusting to me, to be honest. And I saw like arguments that were made for it was because it didn't look visually pleasing. Did we want to talk about Ope's ultimate being mess? Do we want to talk about how Lightning has been the worst mythic for like ever? Did we want to talk about Doe's buzz cut when it was a mythic? Like Rising Claw combo? Everything, bro. Like, I don't know. I just feel like Venom wasn't done justice, but that's okay. I've low-key given up on it at this point. But yeah, it's still a really good legendary. You know, fits his place as like definitely one of the best legendaries. Low damage combo for less regeneration. I don't know if that's a decent trade-off. Probably not, to be honest. But the ticks can be annoying. Like, you can just bleed someone out if they have 0.4 on them. The nerfs that it did get, honestly, were so unjustified, especially with the turret. I have no clue how the Venom nerfs got put through, but stuff like Magma V2, which actually really needed damage nerfs, don't go through. Doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me, but anyways, moving on to Doe V1. Now, this fruit does so much damage for no reason. This fruit does so much damage, has almost no cooldowns. Yeah, I mean, the fruit has a chestnut, which is anything repellent. Does great against literally every mode fruit in the game. Yeah, the fruit is just overall phenomenal. It beats like... Actually, it beats so many mythics, it beats so many legendaries, and it has the potential to beat like everything. Like, Doe V1 is just everyone hates this fruit. It does so much damage still for some reason. Yeah, to be honest, like the bias is so disgusting. Like fruits like Dovey 1 that slip through the cracks that just do so much damage still. Cooldowns are so low still. But yeah, but nerf Venom though, tank Venom. Anyways, yeah, cooldown of Buzzcut is less than a minute. Chestnut comes back as soon as your combo's over. Grilled Dough comes back as soon as your combo's over. Lotus comes back as soon as your combo's over. The only two high cooldown stuff in this fruit are Anemone and Buzzcut, which Anemone is already halfway back by the time you Buzzcut. So yeah, not gonna lie, you guys know what I think of this fruit. It's disgusting, does so much damage, although it does have a pretty high skill ceiling. So yeah, the fruit's basically just as good as you are. And maybe I complain about it so much because I fight people that are like actually good at the game with it. But yeah, moving on to its counterpart, or I shouldn't say counterpart, I should say father, Dovey 2. This fruit will be going into the S plus tier. Don't really have to explain a whole lot. The combo starting with the 1 skill can be difficult at times, but once you land that combo, oh boy, that's a lot of damage. 1 skill isn't used as much as combo starting, as much as it is for like trading. You can trade a lot of skills with it, you just get a combo off of it. Does really good in a lot of matchups, doesn't struggle against a whole lot. It's just a really strong fruit. The Buzzcut does 300 damage. The burn ticks on the 4 skill last forever. Yeah, this is definitely going to be an S+, but I'm not sure how it's going to compare against some of the most broken fruits in the game. Dovey 2 is basically there. Don't get me wrong. It's pretty close to like super broken. I still currently think it's unbalanced, but yeah, moving on. That's pretty much all I have to say about that. Okay, up next we have Leopard V1. Yeah, Leopard V1, I'm not gonna lie, Leopard V1 has been tanking. Like, if I were to put it, do I dare put it? Yeah, I think that's probably a perfect spot for it, right below Venom. Leopard V1 has a hard time beating a lot of legendaries. The mode on it was gutted. It still does a really good amount of damage. Great stun, great cooldowns, pretty good damage as well, but the mode timer, like that thing is horrible now, like actually horrible. You have to play so aggressive to get a combo on this fruit. The one thing I will say that's really nice about it is the instant transformation. That's what sets it aside from fruits like Venom, Soul, Gear 5, even fruits with mini modes that require it like Dark, Quake, and Impact. That unique ability is pretty nice. I know DV2 does have it as well, but DV2 needs to be flamed up to be like a super big threat in mode. Yeah, overall, I think this is a perfect place for Leopard. Like I said, it got a V2, so that's understandable why they nerfed it so badly. Moving on to my favorite fruit in the game, though, we have Ope. Oh boy. Now, do we put this? I think we probably do. Yeah, it's gonna be like probably bottom S+. I personally don't know if it's above Ice V2 or not. To be honest, I would probably like have it above it just for now. Just because you can't do M1s into the 3 skill anymore. You can't do M1s into moves with Ice V2 anymore. That was so dumb. I'm glad they fixed that, but don't fix console hyperskate though. As I was saying though, yeah, Ope, I don't know. I'm like really tempted to just like, yeah, I probably could just like put it right there. Shambles being cancelable is a big detriment to the fruit. You know, you used to be able to get out of stuff like Poison Storm. Used to be able to get out of stuff like Jet Pistol, Magma Rain, literally most skills in the game you could just shambles right out of. But now you can't. And I know Ope Fling isn't fixed, so that's also kind of a detriment to the fruit as well, because you can't stun trade as well with Gamma Knife anymore. Like, you get flung across the map. Or, I say anymore, like, Ope Fling hasn't always been a thing, but you guys know what I mean. Yeah, the fruit's overall really good, but what's holding it back is the room. You know, they have to be in the room to like, really eat a combo. Like, if you're just smart, you won't fight them in the room, because there's no point in fighting an Ope in the room if you have no skills to fight them in the room. Obviously, you'll go in when you're ready, but yeah, a camping Ope is very not wise, we'll put it like that, because you kind of have to like position yourself and reposition yourself, and sometimes it can be dangerous repositioning yourself, especially if you want your full room and you let go of block too early, or you let go of block too late. It's just so room dependent, does a lot of damage. Heart Squeeze is really nice, but it just struggles in areas where these fruits do not, and some of these fruits that we're coming up on do not at all. Up next we have Lightning though. Yeah, I think Lightning, probably the worst Mythic, besides Akuchi. I mean, you guys know, like Lightning hasn't been good since like Ranked came out. It's just honestly the most passive fruit in the game. You just play passive. you run away. Like, that's the only way you can play lightning. You can't really like play super aggressive with lightning. Projected bursts, that's never hitting anybody. Like, if they have good Sora control, that's never hitting anybody. If you start the combo with crushing judgment, then you lose your entire damage combo with projected burst. Like, it's just a whole ordeal. The fruit has really bad combo starting ability, really low damage if you can't get your full combo. The iframe is nice, I guess, but it doesn't, the ult doesn't confirm, like, ever, rarely. Yeah, the fruit is just like, I mean, it's good for 2s, but for 1v1s, if you don't play correctly, like, you just, I don't know. You have to be really good with the fruit to make it work. And most times the fruit is just like so mediocre. That's why I say like fruits like this that are a mythic, and then fruits like this that get demoted from mythic because a bunch of idiots in Popo vote on the poll and say it needs to be demoted when this has been the worst fruit since like ranked came out. So since the nerf after ranked came out, excuse me. Moving on though. Gear 5. This fruit is sick, dude. I love this fruit. It's probably gonna go top S here. Like, that's the best I'll do. Just because there's so many broken fruits on this tier list, top of S I feel like is perfect. It's either going to be Gear 5 or Dark Quake on top of S. Did just get a recent buff to the end lag of Kaminari, which is really nice. Now you can block Lightning Palm pretty well when doing that fight. Yeah, the fruit does crazy damage. The mode timer is pretty long. That's super nice. The combo can be consistent and unreliable at the same time. It's just really difficult sometimes how you have to play it, but I feel like the fruit's in a really good state right now. Doing too much, like if you buff it, it would be too OP. If you nerfed it, it would be too bad. I feel like it's honestly perfect. If there were to be any changes, they would have to be like super small or minor. But overall, Gear 5 is in a great place right now. The base, don't get me wrong, is the worst thing in the game. Like if I was ranking the base of this fruit, I'd realistically put it like down here. Maybe here. Maybe. But yeah, the base is obviously terrible. Everybody knows that. But yeah, the mode, great place right now. And on top of it, it's a super fun fruit to use. I've been using it recently. Moving on to DV2 though. I believe DV2 is also in a really good spot. Yeah, DV2 is going to go right here. Flaming Torch Bolo, frame 1. Crazy good. If you're getting caught by Raw 1 skill, that's just a skill issue, I'm not going to lie. Twister can be difficult sometimes. I mean, it's cancelable, but, you know, it's kind of unpredictable sometimes. Demo, having an iframe and no end lag, that's kind of good. That's really good, actually. Thunder Bagawa got reverted, so that's really nice. The base being good and the mode being good is beautiful. I feel like the fruit is in a perfect spot right now. Perfect. Like, nobody needs to touch it. No nerfs, no buffs. This is like the middle of the S plus tier. Like, it's a good fruit. Not too crazy of a high damage combo. Very little bugs, only in Twister with like Bagawa and Demo sometimes. And Bolo. Anyways, yeah, the fruit's just good. I mean, the mode timer is appropriate due to how good the mode is. So I'm not even going to argue with that. I feel like it's probably the same as Leopard V1's. If not, it's something like that. It's really low. And yeah, that's all there really is to say about that. Perfect placement for this fruit, in my opinion. Moving on to Soul, though. Yeah, Soul we're going to put right above. Yeah, overall, I mean, DV2 beats Soul, but Soul is overall a better fruit. It just is. When you're in your base, obviously the fruit struggles horrifically. But once you're in your mode, you have pretty much complete control of the entire game. There's not a whole lot of fruits that beat Soul mode, besides like fruits that trade stuff like maybe Doe, maybe definitely Dark Quake, DV2, and Phoenix. But that's just all I can think of off the top of my head. I don't know how Magnet does against it. In my opinion, I don't know. I might change it later in the video, but as for now, Soul mode is just really, really good. The base obviously is terrible. Everyone knows that. But once you get past that hurdle, you're pretty much set up for the rest of the game. Moving on to Dark Quake though, this is a very difficult one for me. I feel like this is probably the perfect placement. If not, I would move maybe like DV2 and Soul. I don't know. I'll rearrange this towards the end of the video once I see everything up here. But yeah, Dark Quake still is like it's like good and bad. It does really good against modes. I don't know if there's a single mode in the game that it loses to, and no, I'm not talking about mini modes. We all know that Garp destroys it badly. I know it can struggle against Phoenix and Venom, but Dark Quake typically just has the advantage against fruits that are on the clock because this fruit is super passive. The turret's annoying. Yeah, there's really all there is to say about this. I mean, I might as well push it down just because you can't confirm the ult. The ult is like really, really not that good. I mean, if you know what you're doing, I guess it can be good in some circumstances, but if you're fighting like a Gear 5, you're just never, ever confirming the ult, ever. If you're fighting like a Venom, I don't even think you can confirm the ult if you could just Venom Road out of it. Yeah, I mean, there's not really much to say about the fruit. It's kind of just bland and basic. It's been the same since it dropped. Yeah, moving on to Akuchi, though. Akuchi's in a really bad spot right now, guys. I'm not gonna lie. Akuchi, is in a really bad spot. Like, a really bad spot. I mean, it can be good, just, like, not against a lot of fruits. It's on mode timer. I think the, like, getting damage and having to damage people gimmick of this fruit is super dumb. I don't see why that's a thing. I mean, I guess if it was, like, a normal mode, then it would be a little bit better, but that gimmick is just so dumb. I don't know why that's in the game, honestly. I mean, they try to do, like, a cool, new, unique idea. They made the combo starting horrible. 3 skill gets traded by literally so many things in the game. Divine Serpent can get canceled by, like, Claw Barrage, Projected Burst, Crushing Judgment, Hurricane Shock, 1 skill, Crimson Pillar. Like, it's just, its combo starting is really holding it back. If they were to do the Geppo thing, maybe that would make it a little bit better, maybe not. I'm not sure. But yeah, in cases where it's combo starting, these two are about the same, but this one doesn't have mode. This one has a mode that you're super reliant on. So yeah, the fruit's just in a rough spot right now. They blatantly lied in the balance changes. I just talked about that like earlier. Fruit's in a rough spot. Yeah, that's all there really is to say about that. Moving on to Leopard V2 though, this fruit is still so dumb. They said they made some changes like the 3 skill speed. Like, what did that do? That did nothing. Nothing that they did. They basically didn't touch this fruit at all. I don't know if there was like some like hidden damage nerfs or something. They didn't even touch it. You can still do 2 skill and a 1 skill and a 3 skill and a 4 into 2 and then 1 again and then the 5. Like, it still does 750 damage. Not an overwhelmingly, 900 damage combo, but for the value you get out of the combo starting, it's a great combo. Does so much damage for nothing. Yeah, that 2 skill is like very difficult to get around if you don't know what you're doing. 4 skill is also easily baitable and not super hard to react to. There's just a lot of matches where Leopard V2 just completely obliterates the fruit, and if not, then it will win in the long run just because like all you need is a single combo in the base and then you're back in your mode. You can true combo into mode relatively easy, which fruits like Soul really struggle against. DV2 doesn't struggle against. Gear 5 can struggle against. Leopard struggles against. Venom very struggles against. It's just like this fruit is so good still. Last update was broken. This update's broken. They didn't change anything, so good job. And here we have the last fruit of the video. Impact. You guys know how dumb this fruit is. Loses to what? Like, does it even lose to anything on this list? It can have problems with these two and surprisingly TSR. Does it lose to anything else? Does it? It doesn't even guaranteed lose to those either, by the way. Does it even lose to anything on this list? I don't think it does. This is one of the most, like, I'm not going to even compare it to Prime Soul and DV2, but in regards to that, this is one of, like, the easily top 3 most broken primes. 2 skill, guard breaks. In mode, 1 skill, guard breaks. Combo extend off the 4 skill, that's dumb as. True combo into the ult that does, like, 500 damage. That's also dumb. Even if it doesn't do that much damage, it does something like, I don't know, maybe around 400. I'm not sure how much the ult does. It does so much, and it's an iframe. And not to mention, this in base, the 4 skill, that can also combo start. The 3rd tick does bypass if you don't block the first 2 ticks. So, yeah, I mean, there shouldn't be a really, like, controversial thing about this fruit. Everyone knows it's broken. Every single comment in any video I'm using, everyone is just like, this fruit is so dumb, remove this fruit. And I completely agree with you. This fruit is so dumb. As for the arrangement of this list, I feel like I could do, like, these 3 are all very interchangeable. Like, very interchangeable. I could do this and this, but the problem with that is Dark Ice Quake struggles against a lot of fruits. Like, a lot. Dark Ice Quake struggles against Doe, struggles against Venom, can struggle against Lightning, struggles against Ope, Ice V2. Actually, maybe not Ice V2. Maybe Ice V2. Probably Magma as well. DV2 struggles against not a lot here. Not a whole lot here. Soul, here's the thing, okay? Soul's base is so horrible that it just makes the fruit almost obsolete if you can't get into mode. Like, if you can't get into mode with this fruit, it's terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I feel like this might, what do you guys think? Do you guys think, what looks better, this or this? Anyways, I'm just gonna go ahead and stand on business with my opinion here. Dark X Quake obviously loses to everything up here, but it only really, like I said before, it struggles with like Doe and Venom. That's really it. I mean, sometimes Lightning, maybe Magma V2, maybe Magnet. Oh, and Phoenix. I forgot about that, but so does Soul. Soul also struggles with Phoenix. This is why Phoenix is an S, by the way. But yeah, as I was saying, I feel like this is probably, like I said, these are interchangeable, but this is, in my opinion, I feel like this looks a lot better than this, if you catch my drift. But yeah, that's pretty much going to wrap it up for this video, guys. If you did enjoy, do make sure to like and subscribe, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Thanks for watching, guys. Take it easy.